Shalom. All praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash, and double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom are so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, beginning with the 144,000 prophets, and Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, willing, this lesson is edifying. My name is Kwanawath, and in the news from biometricupdate.com, Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. In another report from X, from Nick Cruz Patain, Elon Musk says a form of immortality might be possible in the future with Neuralink by uploading a saved version of yourself into a humanoid robot through ABCI technology. Now, what does the word biometric mean? Biometric means involving the automated recognition of individuals by means of unique physical characteristics, typically for the purpose of security. Through what? Through, eventually, the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, also known as the brain chip implant, i.e. Elon Musk's Neuralink, including others, also known as the NFC chip implant in Europe, and also known as the biochip, which the word bio means living or alive. Relating to or involving the application of statistical analysis to biological data. And so Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. And what is this identifier? What is an identifier? An identifier is a person or a thing that identifies something. This could be a technological device. And you understand, according to biblical prophecy, this device will eventually, across the globe, be the RFID microchip, also known as the brain chip implant, which is a mark of the beast, right? Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previous optional biometric-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens. Last month, legislators approved amendments to a law related to the 18-character personal identifier, known as a unique population registry code, Clave Única de Registro de Población, if I pronounce that correctly. For you brothers and sisters that speak Spanish, my Spanish is not the best, though I do know how to speak some things. CURP. It says, with the change formalized on Wednesday through a decree, the mandatory CURP will contain personal and biometric information, including a photograph and a QR code containing biometric fingerprint and iris data. The identifier is expected to be introduced gradually to all Mexicans by February 2026. But how? How so? So the government has also allowed the consolidation of the citizen codes into a single identity platform, okay, that will be connected to other state databases and administrative records, which will eventually be kept in the palm of their hands through the RFID microchip, the mark of the beast, according to the decree. Okay. The Ministry of the Interior and the Digital Transformation Agency must create a unified identity platform within 90 days, while public and private institutions will be required to update their system to recognize the identifier. The country also plans to kickstart a national program to collect biometric data from children and adolescents within 120 days, according to news outlet Mexico Business. CERP raises surveillance suspicions. The first CERP was issued in 1996, allowing both citizens and residents to use it in tax filings, company records, schools, passport applications, and other government services. The biometric version of the code began rollout, at the beginning of 2025. Privacy advocates, however, have viewed the introduction of the mandatory biometric ID with suspicion, raising concerns that the CERP will lead to surveillance and data security issues, which is their way of creating an illusion before the people to make it seem as if they're for the people. Okay. It says the new law, for instance, does not require authorities to inform citizens when their data is viewed or assessed. This puts us in a massive surveillance ecosystem with no provisions to identify wrong use of data breaches, identity theft, or act of corruptions. Jose Flores, director of digital rights group R3D, told Context News. CERP could also allow Mexico to establish data sharing agreements with other countries, including a deportation deal with U.S. law enforcement agencies. Rights groups such as Article 19 believe that the ID will give intelligence services access to data without restrictions or transparency. Mexico's national security agencies such as the National Intelligence Center and the National Guard are among the government bodies that will gain access to the biometric data. The government says that the misuse of sensitive data, including biometrics, is regulated by existing data privacy laws. A wiretap can only be approved by a judge according to the Constitution and the law. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, if I pronounce her name correctly, last name correctly, said at the beginning of July, the unified identity platform, let's examine what this is. The unified identity platform is a comprehensive system that consolidates identity management, access control, and security functions into a single integrated solution. This approach aims to streamline identity-related processes, improve security posture, and reduce the complexity associated with managing multiple disparate systems. So that's what the UIP, or Unified Identity Platform, is. All right, so going back to the article, in conclusion, we'll be able to connect the National Registry of Missing and Unlocated Persons and the National Forensic Data Bank, allowing the country to combat the alarming trend of disappearances, according to the government. This concludes the article. And again, real briefly, touching the expos by Nick Cruz, Elon Musk says a form of immortality might be possible in the future with Neuralink by uploading a saved version of yourself into a humanoid robot. So this man is basically trying to be immortal. He's basically trying to get that blessing back. He's trying to be like the Most High, which is an extremely proud thing, a great example of hubris. All right. Now let's get the scriptures and then conclude the lesson. I won't make this too long. I'll just read the scriptures and then Lord's going to conclude the lesson, running on time. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he is the elites of the wicked. And who is the wicked? Malachi chapter 1, verse 4 tells us that the wicked is Esau or Edom, so-called Caucasian race, cause of all people on the earth except for the elect of the nation of Israel, whom our Lord Yahweh Shai will keep. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai will preserve from the hour of temptation, which is the hour of trial, through the idea of piercing, okay, according to biblical prophecy. Both small and great, from a newborn baby to an elderly senior in society, rich and poor, whether they be rich or poor, free and bond, whether they be free or in bondage in the jail systems, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that chip, right? In their right hands or in front of their brains, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now the beast is the pagan Roman Empire, which came back in the form of NATO and the EU, with America being an extension of that empire. That is the beast, right? And no man will be able to buy or sell unless they have that mark, that chip, in their right hands or in their foreheads. Here is wisdom: let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which ties right back into the RFID microchip, right? The mark of the beast. And those that do take that chip will receive a plague. Revelation chapter 16, verse 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. And the image of the beast is the system, right, of the beast. Everything that comprises this man's system is the image. And those that receive that mark in their right hands or in their foreheads are going to be plagued with a noisome, grievous sore, cancer, before they are eventually destroyed by thermonuclear fire. Last verse, Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone from the weapons of the Lord's indignation, the ICBM nuclear missiles, the warheads, in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai, our Lord. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image. When it says forever and ever, it means for a period of time, right? Doesn't mean forever and ever, it just means for a period of time. Who worship the beast in his image, when whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So with that, this has been a In the News report. I'll conclude this lesson. I'll catch you brothers and few sisters in the next one. Shalom.